So we got a new cab dropped off. So we've been sandblasted, and apparently that it was too rusty for the guy that had it and didn't want to, after it was sandblasted, too rusty for him to fix and continue. Just a few little rust there, and then, well, the more you look at it, the worse it does get. Needed 4 pans and rotted there and then over there. So, good news is it's here. So I think the only thing we're actually going to use off this cab is probably going to cut these off. Well, for now anyway. It does have a pretty good gutter and stuff on it, so we might end up using part of the gutters. Don't know yet, but for sure what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I'm still going to think about this for a minute, but I think I'm going to cut somewhere along in here, take it out here or here. I'm not real sure on that yet. And then somewhere back in here, if I can get in there with a sawzall or a cutting wheel, get that cut off there. So that's kind of the plan for that. And then yeah, we'll get that cutting off there, and then hopefully we can get a better idea what we need to do onto the other cab. So get that cut off there and Alright, so got that cut off there. I'm thinking that I wanted to keep that for the door, the door, what do you call those, the little speed nut there that the door mounts to, beside the B-pillar. And then this here is reinforced for when the door opens, that it doesn't, get slammed and go so far the fender runs into the door runs into the fender. And I want to kind of keep this looking factory-ish, where like, well, maybe they could have built that. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here. I've actually got, what I did was I took a straight edge off of here, flat up against here, and ran it straight across here. And that's how I got my line. My thought on that would be the door isn't thicker in the front or the back. Therefore, if the outer skin of the door is the same as the fender and the rear door, the inside depth should be the same on both front and rear door jamb. So I'm hoping that by cutting this here, we relieve this. Basically, this was one door, 2 doors with this in the middle, so you had 2 body lines, and we want to make it one, more like a modern vehicle would look like. And it had hinges sticking out like an old Willys Jeep or something, or like an old 30s car. So we wanted to change that. And also I don't like the fact that this was squared off when it should be rounded out like our doors. So I cut this farther down than it needed to, being that our rocker panel here will now become that piece there. So it should be kind of about like that. At least that's what I'm hoping. So as long as this panel here hopefully drops down below here, I think our new panel comes up to this dot right here. So I think what I'm going to do is do some measurements, get this here figured out so I could cut basically this chunk of stuff off, throw it off the side, trim this up to where it fits. Then I'm going to hang a door, front door on here. I know I could get it pretty close as long as it's somewhat even up there. I'm not too worried about the rocker right now. That way I could cut this out and then put the front half of the door I cut earlier on here. And basically at that point all I'm trying to do is make sure my door is up and down. And I'm going to do that with the body line on this door, the body line, half the body line on this, because I've still had the door skin on it, and also the door, the back of the cab, and also on the inside of the doors it does come to a peak right there in that body line. So I think if I can get those 3 pieces lined up, then I'll know I have this door jamb for the rear door pretty close. So I must think about this for a minute and then hopefully do some measurements and cutting. So yeah, wish me luck. So, just got the crew cab Chevy doors. We cut this one down. Basically, we had to shorten it, and I wanted to basically put this in there because we ended up taking the front piece of the knee knocker cab. Basically, this piece here, we cut this off, shortened it. You can kind of see what we got, the mess we got going on in here. This is that piece. So basically, I underlapped it here. We're going to come back and make sure I distance in and out. I kind of did that so I can adjust this in and out a little bit. And so we would know, I had enough metal to move in and out on this side. I kind of cut this side a little short, unfortunately, but this piece here was actually added in for whoever did the actual conversion the first time. And like I said, we're going to get this to kind of match inside the door. So we will be replacing an awful lot of that anyhow. That's kind of where we're at on that. Hopefully get a better door. I've got it pretty close. It's hard to tell because this door is pretty beat up and gone. So hopefully he can find me another door. But that's pretty much where we're at. It had a pretty fat seam before. It looked kind of like this, where you had the front door and then the rear door, and you had two body lines. I want to get rid of that. That doesn't look good. So, but doing that, we know we got to extend one of the two door panels. We're probably going to do the front door. Basically, we'll add another, that's a half inch or so in here to get a nice solid 1/4 inch gap all the way around. And then that door will come up to here. I think we're going to come across here is what he wants to do. Kind of make this body line part of that. And then as you can see, this door rolls in. So that's going to be interesting. You could take another door here. Take this section and hopefully maybe put it here. But he's going to have to find another door because that one is pretty wasted. So that's just kind of an update. I'm going to end the video here on the on the Chevy Crew Cab 65. So if you like these videos, this type of stuff, give me a like, a comment, and remember, get out there and create something today, even if it sucks. Peace.